Welcome. Welcome, everybody. This is Pep Talks. Damn it. Damn it. Give me another cloth, Bob. We're live here in the studio in Burbank. We're in the midst of a coronavirus. It's now a pandemic. It's gone global. My guest here today, or not my guest, my co-host Steve Lally. Steve, how are you coping with this?
I'm barely holding on, Eddie. Barely holding on my grip to sanity and reality.
I want to say something out there to all the people in my age group. We are so fucked. We have to band together, all of us in this age group, and you know what age I'm talking about. We have to band together. We have to get rice, dried rice. You know, what are the kind of rice is there? Rice in stores.
Sanitary wipes.
We need sanitary wipes, and we need to start our own island. People who are 60 and over, we need to start our own island.
Coronavirus commune.
We cannot let these young people like Lolly.
We're going to airlift amphetamines, and erectile dysfunction drugs into just drop them on the island for you.
Well, you know what I did the other day? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pep Talks. I tried to have a dramatic opening there, and it was fine. But anyway, we canceled last week. I wasn't feeling good, and I'm still not feeling.
Tell him
great.
about the show. Eddie canceled his show last night. He called me up and he said,
that's right. This is me.
He said, I don't feel good, man. I go, because where are you? Are you at 80%? He's, I don't know, but I have a show tonight at the Improv. And I said, Eddie, you should go on tonight. You should go to the Improv and go on. And say, what was your opening going to be? You're going to cough and say, I have coronavirus, but I needed the $12.
Right, because the Improv... in the Improv lab, there's the Improv main room, which is decent money, but the Improv lab is always shitty. It's always like something like $12. So I said it would be funny if I showed up yesterday and I went to the audience. Folks, I have tested positive for the corona, but there was $12 involved tonight. I had to come in to get this money for me and my family. Oh, my God. I was just talking to a fellow out in the ante room. We're here at All Things Comedy Studio in Burbank, where you meet a lot of cool comics as you come in and out of the studio. And it's not like asshole DJs. You know what I mean? Imagine if we worked at a radio station. Hey, Bob, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. I'm great, Bob.
Failed comics with big paychecks.
That's kind of true,
what they are, huh?
Some of them are really cool, though. My favorite is Ron Bennington and Sirius. But anyway, I was saying our culture, the American culture is not equipped to deal with something this serious because we all live in this fantasy world.
Ego world.
No, I'd call it fantasy. Ego as well, but fantasy of like nothing is real. Everybody is tuned in, to just different, as Chris Hedges, who I quote all the time, would say, electronic hallucinations. Everybody is just like, in La La Land, You know what I mean?
I do. I watch people with their phones all fucking day.
Right.
All fucking day.
Okay, so that's a great example that, it's funny, too, because just before coming here, since this whole thing has started to happen, I haven't turned on cable news once because I knew. But today I was like, let me turn it on. And I watched it for about 15 minutes, and I felt like I was going to die. I watched cable news. Jake Tapper.
Grief porn?
Jake Tapper or Taper? I don't know what
Doesn't your wife call it grief porn?
Yes, grief porn. Right, but this is not grief. This is pure fear type of stuff. And Tapper had this really he just looks at the camera and goes, so you're telling me you don't have enough testing kits? That's a dry cough, isn't it? You see? It's motherfuckers, younger motherfuckers who are spreading it to older people like me. And Taper is just looking into the fucking camera going, or Tapper, whatever his name is. Is it Jake Tapper or Taper, Aaron?
Tapper.
Tapper. Jake Tapper is staring at the camera going, you're telling me, he's talking to some CDC guy, that you don't have enough test kits. So basically you're saying this thing is going to spread. All right, next. Next on CNN, we examine a man who's been in quarantine, and they had some guy who just was pathetically, he's like, I feel like I'm in jail. My lungs are full. I was just like, let me turn this off and
put on some classical music.
Yeah, I put on The Lobster. You ever see the movie The Lobster?
No, I don't know
What a
that.
great movie. It's so out of the box.
Lobster face?
Nope, it's just called The Lobster.
That's what you needed. That's what you needed to take you out of the cable news funk.
Well, it's a creative movie. Whenever I see a movie that's out of the box or a piece of art that's out of the box, I'm like, oh, there are possibilities in this world. And it's interesting because we could relate it to what's going on now in the Democratic primary, because what we're getting is what we always have gotten.
Nice segue, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, because infinite possibilities exist in this world, but we just go, definitely the power elites just go with the same thing over and over again. Corporate homogenized culture. Are you okay? Well, you just gave me a look like you were going to die.
It wasn't a look for because of you.
Yeah.
It was a look for my own, sort of depression about the whole thing. Listen, I will vote for the Democrat if they have a fair election.
But they haven't.
They can't have a fair election. So let them fucking die. This is the second time. I don't have any fucking patience for this anymore.
Right, it's over.
It's the
I mean,
second
guys
time.
like me and you have said fuck you to the Democratic Party because they said fuck you to us. Whereas, other people leaning toward the left, not even the left, but they're like, no, we have to vote for Biden. They're doing the same thing over and over again, which is, no, he's the least, he's the best of the worst, so we have to vote for him. Just think of the Supreme Court
That's what they say.
What do you think of that
How did
argument?
that work in the last go round? How did that work in 2016? How did that work out for you?
Right.
Couldn't beat a guy who never ran for political office. Maybe the Democratic Party's first objective is not to defeat Donald Trump. Has that occurred to anybody out there, that maybe
Yes.
their first most serious priority is Donald Trump is not a threat to the Democratic Party's money flow? Mm-hmm. Bernie Sanders is.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the prevailing wisdom was that if Sanders somehow got the nomination despite the DNC's best efforts, like if there really was this tremendous wave of support, they would rather have Trump as president than Sanders,
Of course
the
they
DNC, because Sanders would probably affect their money flow. Now, what's interesting is that Chris Hedges, again, who I always bring up, is the guy. The reason I bring up Chris Hedges, also Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, is that Howard Zinn, Sheldon Willen, these are all people. Naomi Klein is great. These are all people who I think are historically very educated. They see this for what it is, and Hedges says that Bernie in 2016 should have walked out
Right.
on the Democratic National Convention and started a third party. We need a third party, and that's really obvious because the Republicans and the Democrats are part of the kleptocracy, corporatocracy. Corporatocracy?
Something.
Call in the number below if you know what we're trying to say. Call in the number below before you're struck down by this fucking virus.
What do you think, Eddie? What do you think? If you were Bernie Sanders, what would you do right at this moment? Or if you were Bernie Sanders' closest advisor, what would you... Because he is in sort of a pickle right now, because if he does destroy the Democrat, he could destroy the Democratic Party with like a flick of his wrist. In fact, they may be destroyed anyway.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well,
could?
what
I
I'd
mean,
say,
they are destroyed.
If he is to stay in it
yeah.
tell us, my supporters, I changed my mind. Protest. What's going to happen at the convention in Milwaukee? How's that going to be? What's going to go down there?
At the
all those
convention?
delegates are going to walk out again, and they're going to make it look like the place is full, like they did last time. For Clinton, they made it look like it was full.
Did they have seat fillers?
They had seat
It's
fillers.
the same people who fill seats at the Academy Awards. The seat fillers, by the way, if you are out of work right now, especially because stadiums are empty, because of the coronavirus, be a seat filler. Be a seat filler. There are nobody going to events right now. Fill the seats, fill your pockets with money, fill your family's refrigerator. Seat filling. It's something to do. Also, by the way, this is scary. I mean, we're bouncing all over the place, but our democracy, it just feels like right now with the virus and the complete incompetency of one good thing about the virus is that it completely highlights across the aisle too, Republicans, Democrats, whoever, even though they are one party essentially, it just highlights the absolute, as if anyone needed to highlight this, the absolute incompetence of this douchebag and his minions in office right now, and it's affecting everybody. I mean, now this douchebag really is destroying fucking, the indigenous, people who live here. He's already destroyed a lot of immigrants' lives, but and working class people's lives. I love that. By the way, somebody on my thread, on one of my threads, was like, oh God, I can't remember. It must be the virus. The virus, it gets into your lungs, and then it eats away at different parts of your memory, is what I'm hearing. Are you hearing that?
You might have had this for years. No, I didn't hear that. I did hear, though, it's a
No, I was kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
It is respiratory.
Yeah.
I'm really one thing I would. Oh God, I forgot what I was. What was the thread I was on?
Coronavirus eating your memory.
Nope, that was.
Oh, the political establishment failing us, as if we needed more of a
reminder about, just the incompetence of this fucking douchebag. It's so funny reading the New York Times about what's going on because their great concern is the stock market.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how the stock market is the first?
It's like Dana Gould, great friend of mine and really funny comedian. Dana had a podcast saying, what the Holocaust, his tweet was, what the Holocaust will do to your portfolio. Which summed it up to me. It's like, it's more about money than people.
Totally.
Which is what capitalism has come to. We're all fucking commodities, We're all
we're living in a stock market. I mean, Los Angeles is a stock market of intellectual property and beauty. It's, if you watch people walking around, they're more, I mean, not that it isn't that way everywhere, sort of, but LA is really hyper like that, and especially with young, attractive women.
What do you mean intellectual property?
Well,
intellectual and LA don't go together.
I don't mean literally intellectual. I mean just shit that comes from people. Ideas. It's a stock market of ideas and a stock market of beauty, and there's a trade. There's a hustle going on. And you and I, my friend, we have not made it in that hustle. We're on the periphery, sort of like the angry. We are you know what it is? Is this is not a counter-revolution. This is not a revolutionary place. This is a place for counter-revolutionary.
Where? LA or
yes,
the United States?
Los Angeles, this city.
Yeah. And it's interesting too because so many artists live here and really cool people. A lot of cool people live in LA. But ambitious people too, so they kind of are willing to sell anything.
But did you know when you moved here how counter-revolution? I didn't know.
No.
Neither did I. If I had known,
would have you stayed in Chicago?
I would have moved to New York. I would have moved to New York and just stayed there.
New York's become a boutique liberal haven as well, though, because no one can afford to live in New York anymore, i.e., basically Manhattan is the center of everything, and then there's Brooklyn and Queens, and people are getting pushed out further and further. Most people are living on dinghies in the East River and the Hudson River. They're just living on little dinghies.
I know a woman who bought.
You know that was a joke, right?
No, I thought that was.
Sometimes I feel like you.
I'm a little slow today, dude.
What's up?
I didn't have caffeine right at the right time.
Oh, why didn't you say something? I would have grabbed your coffee on the way over here.
I wasn't even. My synapses weren't even firing at that level.
And you left your locks on your bike?
Oh man, right? I'm not.
Tell the audience what you did.
This could be a. I might be coming down with some kind of
you might be
memory eating, mind eating thing.
Or the corona, COVID-19, I think it's called.
A novel corona case. No, I just I don't even remember what I was fucking saying. I would have moved to New York, but the weather and the cost of living was less here, and I had friends here, and I didn't have any friends in New York really. So I had friends from college who'd moved out.
Yeah, everybody comes over here.
So I had people I could stay with. And I got an audition for a movie here. So that was another reason that I came.
Same for me. I mean, I didn't audition. I had a part in a movie, Old School, and it brought me here for months. And I was like, oh, and I was living in Venice by the water. I was making money because I was in Old School, the one with Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell.
That was a hit. That was a big hit.
And Luke, it became a really big hit. My first residual check this out, folks. $17,000 after taxes.
He's bragging.
I believe it was 30. No, I tell you so you get to feel part of show business. Yes, I'm on the margins of show business. But if I weren't on the margins of show business, you would not get this kind of truth and rage and absolute piercing stupidity.
If it wasn't for that movie, we may have never got you here.
It is so funny how money compromises people. How money is just like if I were part of the Hollywood establishment here.
Yeah.
How could I be so outspoken about?
Well, Mark Ruffalo, Susan Sarandon, there are people who still are.
Well, Sarandon is taking so much shit. Sarandon,
she doesn't give a fuck.
Good. I love her. I love Susan Sarandon.
You would be just like that.
All the fucks attacking Susan Sarandon are such assholes, and I hope one of you is watching or listening today. So you know what a fucking asshole you are for attacking Susan Sarandon, because she had nothing to do with Shillery losing. That was on Shillery. So anyway, Biden is poised.
Biden's called Super Tuesday, Super Thursday. Biden was in Idaho, and he said it's great to be in Iowa. Just Trump is going to
I've done that, though. In deference to Joe Biden, I have been in Idaho, and I've called it Iowa.
But you're not running for office.
That's true. If I were running for office, they would just dig up...
oh, man.
My dental work would be enough to fucking get me out of there, just how bad my teeth are. Wouldn't it be funny if the guy debating me, let's say it was Biden, goes, this is an x-ray of his teeth. This is Joe Biden. This is an x-ray of Pepitone's teeth. Look at this.
How could you vote for
How can you vote for a guy whose teeth look like someone in Britain in the 1950s? Actually, I am in the middle of getting a bridge repaired, so if you notice my teeth looking really shitty, that's because my dentist is a fucking idiot. So anyway, what else? What else? So Biden is poised to lose.
Richard Nixon with dementia.
Yeah,
they're running Richard Nixon with dementia. His voting record is he's never voted left of center ever. I mean, he's bailed out credit card companies.
Oh my God, Delaware.
That's
one of my online buddies. I have online buddies, by the way, and we all get together and we watch Contagion. I did watch Contagion this week.
Not a good idea.
It was a very good movie, and it's very scientific. And yeah, you just are like, yes. It's really wild to watch the movie Contagion right now because you're like, oh yeah. This is what's going on.
Except for the happy ending.
Except their virus was much more like this coronavirus, I think, is supposedly, the fatality rate is high, but it's supposedly, like not harmful to a lot of people, whereas the virus in Contagion was just like making people keel over on buses and,
right.
in a puddle of their own vomit and urine, the way I wake up in the morning, essentially. Anybody else have tough nights out there? Anybody else wake up in a puddle of their own urine and vomit and little specks of blood, and then you have to greet the day?
My friend recommended a movie to me on Amazon called Wake and Fright. Have you heard of this or seen this movie?
Wake and Fright?
Wake in Fright.
Oh, Wake and Fright. No, that sounds perfect, though.
I'm surprised you haven't seen that. It's an Australian deliverance.
Uh-huh.
And it's I don't know if you can watch it because there's some really horrible, mutilating. There's some bad
animals?
stuff. Yeah, dude. I'm just warning.
As long as they didn't really hurt animals.
I don't think they really did.
I don't think they can.
I don't think they really did.
Lobster has The Lobster, which Colin Farrell and Olivia Colman, Rachel Weisz also has a scene where a dog is murdered. They don't show that. They just show the aftermath.
Oh, they show this one.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, that's tough for me.
It was bad. Well, first of all, it's from 1971, so it was a different sentiment.
True.
Time period. Animal sensitivity wasn't as like it is now. But it's a fucking terrible movie. I'm warning you to not watch it.
Oh, okay. It's
because
terrible.
my friend
It's not good.
No, it's cinematically good, but it's not. There's no redeeming quality of this movie.
You know what? I don't care about that.
Okay.
Because there's no redeeming quality to this podcast. So we're simpatico.
Yeah. But we are charming. We're charming. You're at least charming, and I'm here.
Hey, that's funny. You're charming, and I'm here. Hi, I'm here, and I'm charming. Welcome.
That's our improv group.
Our vaudeville team. Hold on, folks. I hope this is just a cold, right? It's been a while.
You're almost better. I know you're.
What do you think? How do I look? I'm being serious.
You look the same as you always do.
Not good.
Not good.
That got a laugh out of Aaron.
Finally.
You always know it's funny when Aaron fucking cracks up. You know who makes Aaron crack up is Sean Conroy. He cracks you up, huh, Aaron?
Yeah.
What is it? It's just how dry.
The drollness.
You know that Sean is from New Rochelle. Sean Conroy, who was on the podcast, and I was on his recently. He's from New Rochelle. His family's from New Rochelle, and they've locked down
No shit.
a mile radius of New Rochelle
For the corona thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why just that mile? How do they know just that mile? It makes no sense, really.
It's like it does sound like the beginning of a horror movie, and someone within that mile is going to have it.
Well, Germany, Angela Merkel came out today and said 70% of the population will probably get the coronavirus.
But listen, the name of the place is Germany, Eddie. Germany.
Point being, they're way more together. I know they've had a bad past. You ever hear Norm Macdonald's thing about Germany?
Oh, it's fucking hysterical.
You say it. We have four calls. We have 4 calls to get to. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about. The dissolution of the Democratic Party is complete because Sanders, and a lot of people saying that Sanders, young voters didn't come out in the numbers he was hoping.
Bullshit, dude.
That's pretty much common knowledge, no?
Is
What
it?
are you saying? What are you saying?
Okay, maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
I love
maybe
how you
I'm wrong.
backtracked.
Well,
bullshit. Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I do know voter turnout is down from 2016.
Why would it be?
I don't know, but
There's
why
more
would,
at stake.
But wait, why would the lines be so long if the voter turnout is down?
Oh,
that's a
there's-
major fucking red flag right there. Long lines. And by the way, they
I know.
announced Joe Biden, for those of you who are on the other side in the center right, that you think you're lefty, that you support Joe Biden. Michigan declared Joe Biden the winner. The media declared Joe Biden the winner of Michigan as lines were forming to vote in college towns and younger areas. As lines were forming.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of complete
it's
complicity on the part of the media, the DNC.
It's a coordinated voter suppression.
Which is why there should be a third fucking party. And it'll take a while.
It will,
but it's our only hope. It's our only hope. Or, and I love...
Maybe a fourth
party. Or we all get yellow vests.
Yeah,
and we start
civil disobedience,
and civil
which, by the
nonviolent
way,
civil
Milwaukee would be a great time to start civil disobedience at the Democratic. Yeah,
absolutely.
Cause problems, cause trouble.
Yeah.
You know, go be a fucking problem. Be more of a problem than you were.
And by the way, I want to point out, if you're a seat filler, civil disobedience will need a lot of people.
Yeah.
Regardless of your politics, come and fill a seat. Come and
get your money up front.
Come and block a highway. Seat fillers.
See the seat filler gig economy. Of the seat filler.
So the economy is also crashing because of this shit.
Right.
And it's hurt my pocketbook. I was supposed to be in South by Southwest. I was supposed to be in the Bird City Comedy Festival. I'm waiting on a couple of other festivals that I think are going to get canceled. It's like, so my money has dried up. You've never had
my
money.
paying gigs don't exist.
You don't have
not
any paying.
affected me.
But so what I need you to do, folks,
Venmo.
is help me.
Yeah, we're
help
going to give you,
me.
I'm going to give you my Venmo. At Stephen-Lolly, Lolli. Eddie, what is your Cameo or Venmo? Can you throw it out there for people?
Well, my PayPal is Pepitone at sbcglobal.net.
Thank you.
I'm good. We have some phone calls. We're fucked in so many ways. We are being, the administration, Mike Pence in charge of our health. That's all you need to know. A crazy evangelical who was responsible for the spread of an opioid addiction in Indiana because he wouldn't let people share needles, is now in charge of our health care. Okay, let's go to our first call. Here we go. And this is going to be a round. Okay. Let's see.
Welcome to the party, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the party. 503. Okay, here we go. Huh. I don't see that one. Let's just go to this one. This is an awesome one from one of my favorites.
Hey, Eddie and Steve. This is Annika from LA. And I love the podcast. You guys are my favorite. Eddie, you're my favorite comedian.
Thank you, Annika.
I wanted to share with you guys something that happened to me just like 3 days ago. So I was in my parking lot of my apartment complex building, and I hear somebody behind me saying, "Excuse me, miss." And I turn around, and there's this like ancient, like shit brown car with paint just like peeling off everywhere, and there's this really, really old man with white hair, and he's very, very thin and frail, and he looks like not somebody's grandpa, but also somebody's like great grandpa, like just like Appalachian old man. Like he just was so frail. And he said, "Hi, excuse me, do you know how to get into this building? Because I'm delivering for Instacart." And I was just so floored. It was like an Eddie Pepitone rant about like the working poor. Sometimes you're like generalizing like groups of people, but this was just it was like just so specific and real, and like it was just so sad, like to see this old guy, that shouldn't, like, why is he working? Like this old man shouldn't be lifting heavy things. He probably shouldn't even be driving, and like also in the car with him was what seemed to be his wife, was like this really, really old white-haired lady, probably helping him try to deliver these things. For what, like $10? I mean, the time it's going to take him to
You're talking about my future.
Use the app and try and figure out where to get into the building. I mean, this is really like poignant and sad. It happened 3 days ago, and I just can't stop thinking about it. But the other thing is that I live in Reseda, and in a kind of a bad neighborhood, in kind of a notorious bad building, and there's like a lot of like Section 8 people, and so the building, like the people living here are like a half a paycheck away from like working for Instacart. So I'm just like, who the fuck is, it was just like a very strange So I don't know. I wanted to hear what your thoughts were about, the elderly working for big tech companies, sort of like doing the hard labor for, these like 20-year-old people writing code and making apps. And anyways, what your thoughts are?
Awesome call. Thank you, Annika. We hadn't heard from Annika in a while. And
Beautiful voice, by the way.
oh, by the way, I met Annika. She's gorgeous.
Oh, man.
Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway,
Yeah.
that has nothing to do
Your
because
thoughts?
that, that is such a poignant, that's such a poignant, real incident that she is relating to us that reflects what the fuck is going on. This guy, I mean, I kind of laughed when she said, I don't even think he should be driving, and he's delivering food to really bad area, neighborhoods, meaning very poor. And it's because, old people don't have
our economy.
pensions, Social Security. And these motherfuckers, these Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, the oligarchs who can't get enough of our. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just it's a terrible thing.
Oh, you just feel rocked by this phone
Yeah,
call?
it's fucking horrible, man. It's an economy held up by smoke and mirrors, and it's coming apart.
And the virus, the pandemic, pandemic will help it fall apart. I'm telling you, I don't know, man. I mean, people, because our economy, like for instance, I just related how I'm out of work now for money, and it's happening to all kinds of service industry people, and it could get scary really quickly. Do you have a gun? I have a bow and arrow, but it's when I used to play cowboys and Indians when I was a child, so it can't really hurt anybody. But I think it'll keep people away.
Are you on the second floor?
Yeah.
Then at least you're elevated.
I'm elevated.
In case of attacks.
Right.
You might want to
I could just see myself in
How many arrows do you have?
3. It comes with 3.
You need to get more.
And I have a little plastic.
Is it like a plastic bow?
Yeah, it's all plastic. But Annika, that's so poignant, and it's so horrible that people in this country have to struggle like that. Rents keep going up. Social Security. Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that these fuckers want to cut Social Security?
Right.
There's no
It's an
safety
entitlement.
net.
It's an entitlement.
There's no safety net for people. Bill Clinton cut welfare for people. A Democrat, whatever the fuck that means.
That's what's coming apart. The Clinton-Obama politics. They're trying to get.
Well, apparently some people still. I mean, older black voters supposedly are voting for Biden because of his connection to Obama. And somebody in my thread said, it's too bad working people can't vote in their interest. And so they're saying that has Bernie gotten his message out? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know that. I don't know what to say about that. I feel like he has.
Man, I think he succeeded already. I think he succeeded.
How
This
so?
is the Sanders thing that's happening. It's like a snowball. It's like an energy snowball that's been building up like an avalanche. It's really started to appear in Occupy Wall Street when those people were camping out in tents.
Right.
And then Bloomberg swept them all away. And every city had an Occupy Wall Street. And every younger generation is seeing this as they're coming up. And these people are going to go out. Even if Trump is reelected, these young people are going to go out and they're going to run for political office. They're going to take their local political offices and their chambers of commerce and all that shit, and they're going to go out and run because they know that's the only choice they have is to guard to be like a last stand, so the federal government can't impose their will on these people or their state governments, because the Democrats Schiff, this heroic Schiff guy, these people make me so fucking physically ill. They keep just talking about these people. This fucking Schiff weasel cunt fuck who did this impeachment shit, right? This charade of impeachment, had no problem voting for that historic war budget of Trump's.
You're talking about Pelosi?
Pelosi, Schiff, Schumer, all of them. They
Yeah,
all voted for the war budget, the historic war budget, and the Patriot Act, and certifying the
Right.
surveillance.
Right.
It's a fucking charade, man, and it's
a
coming
charade.
apart. It's
a charade, and one of the points I want to make too, again via Hedges' observation, is that the oligarchs love it when we talk about gender and race and all the culture bullshit, all the culture wars, which is all about gender,
Right.
gender neutrality, and all these things that never deal with class, that never deal with economics, because you could talk about, division about guns and abortion, right? You could talk about guns, you could talk about abortion, you could talk about gender inequality, but nobody ever talks about fucking class and economic oppression,
Right.
which all these things, deflect away from. Because if people were taken care of economically, there would be much more egalitarian things across the board,
Well, people who are on the far right would be much more pacified in their ignorance. Their ignorance, which is becoming militant, like these right-wing white nationalist things, would be much more like, for instance, in Israel, the Israel-Palestinian thing. Interesting thing that nobody talks about. The areas where the Palestinians are affluent, they have a copacetic relationship with Israel. The areas where they're poor, that's where the unsettling is, because that's where the suffering is.
Right.
So if you have a sophisticated, functioning society, yeah, you can tackle gender bathroom shit, and we can have all the boutique liberal issues up front.
Right.
But we don't have that. We're in a society that's coming apart, and a young generation that was prepared by their parents and grandparents to be in a more elite, affluent society, and that's what's really coming apart. Is these people going to college and learning about all the pronouns they're not supposed to use, and language and censorship, going into debt, by the way.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
To learn about.
Which Bernie wanted to get rid of. He wanted to get rid of debt.
Oh, of course.
Biden, I forget what he says. I remember I saw Biden on one of the debates said, if you volunteer, it's free. I don't even know what that means.
No,
College he was talking
But what
about.
does it even matter?
I don't even know
He's
what
going to go back on anything he says anyway.
Let's do another call. Here we go. And I thought you'd say, how would... let's see. Did we do this one? Tell me if we did this one.
Eddie, you're a genius comic, man.
Yes.
I love the way you look at the world and the way you just...
I
I
like
can understand
listening
why
that
you wanted
again.
to hear that again.
Yeah,
Eddie.
I just wanted to hear that again. Let's see what this one is about.
Eddie, how you doing, buddy? It's your old friend Chris again. Hey, so this week I just had some news. I thought, I didn't really have anybody my age to ask about this and similar life experiences at this point. So last week my mom was real sick, and to the point where I didn't hear from her for a couple of days because she was unexpectedly in intensive care. And she's better now. But I wanted to ask you, Eddie, having similar life, similar age, but in some ways, how did you feel when you found out you weren't going to get an inheritance?
Huh.
Oh, also, just real quick, if you could pass on to Brendan Bricks, yes, I am crazily high, but no, I'm not masturbating. Thank you very much, Eddie. Love you.
What was that, Brendan?
I don't
Bricks
even
reference?
remember,
Yes,
but-
I'm crazy high, but I'm not masturbating. Maybe we were talking about when you're crazy high, you masturbate a lot, which I used to do.
I don't
when I was
remember.
crazy high, I used to
I don't remember.
masturbate like a man in a mental institution. I don't remember.
Maybe that's all the weed and drug use we've sustained, not remembering our podcast with Brandon Britt. That was a while ago, though. I don't remember that. I don't remember
Yeah.
talking about that. Sorry.
Chris, yeah, I'm glad your mom is feeling better. Not getting an inheritance, you know what, man? That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, the inheritance, talking about lower middle class inheritance. It would be nice. It would be nice right now. Do you stand to inherit anything, Stevie?
No.
Do you have siblings?
I don't expect to inherit anything.
No? So you're just out on the streets with your wits going...
My parents are...
You're going to...
Not...
Pretty soon we're going to be out on the streets just selling snake
I don't
oil.
know people who get inheritance.
I'm not talking about fucking huge inheritance, but like, my dad has a house.
When my grandmother passed away, I inherited her unauthorized biography of Frank Sinatra.
I'm not bad.
By Kitty Kelly.
Ain't bad.
And I read it. I read that fucking thing.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's another one.
Eddie, I wanted to call you and talk about please don't get mad. I want to talk about Ari Shaffir, man. He's what he did, not knowing about the kids, that was a mistake, and he shouldn't be accosted physically for that mistake. And especially hearing other comics that ironically, I only learned about them because Ari Shaffir would big them up on his podcast. And they were okay with Ari Shaffir getting violently accosted in the streets, okay? But then I noticed when journalists in that context talk solely on Kobe's name, they don't keep the same energy. When the Los Angeles Sheriff Department is graphically sharing his body photos to their friends, they don't keep that same energy. So the whole shockwave of that ordeal really set me off in a bad way, in a bad kind of tone. I just lost a lot of respect for certain comics, and I don't know how you feel about that, but he did make a mistake, but I know he's a good person. I know that, because he actually is more progressive than what people say he is. Getting Jimmy Dore on, or when he gets Dave Smith's stupid libertarian ass, and he checks him in every State of the Union podcast he does. Hey, Dave, free market means that slavery is okay, you dumbass. Fucking Dave Smith. And I'm sorry. I'm rambling. What if you want to talk about it, you can. If you don't, that's all cool too. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Have a good day, you sexy bastard. Much love.
Hey, thank you for that call. Did he leave his name? I didn't get it.
No, but
but yeah, I hear you. Here's what bit. Now, what he's talking about is Ari Shaffir. Kobe died, right? Kobe helicopter crash, and we're here in LA, and so Ari has this thing when I think when celebrities die, he just makes fun of it, or he says "fuck him," or but he did it like the day after Kobe died, and he got death threats, and of course no one deserves to be physically assaulted for just being a dick about it. But what bit Ari in the ass is when you play as a comedian, when you play this like I'm gonna say anything, and I'm gonna say anything no matter what type of mentality, it can really backfire. So he had some, I forget what he said about Kobe, but he said some things. I didn't even watch it because I don't care, because I know Ari and I know it. That's what he does. But, to me, it was just stupid because you don't say that. You don't say that no matter what you felt about Kobe, and the kids, he has two little girls, so that way, and people were calling for Ari to be rubbed out. They're not gangsters, they're good people who want people rubbed out, they're just good people.
Good people on both sides. Good people on both sides.
Good people there's good people on both sides.
Title for like a self-help book.
Good people on both sides. So yeah,
like schizophrenic.
Yeah, I'm glad Ari calls out shitheads on libertarian shitheads, the free market. What a bunch of fucking morons those people are. But yeah, so what bit Ari in the ass was kind of his, I guess, audaciousness. like, I'm the comic who says and does anything.
What everyone else won't, right?
You know, I weigh things heavily. Like before I open my mouth, I am like, I run it by a team. I run it by Team Pepitone. I go, baby, do you think I should make fun of the Greek philosopher Hippocrates tonight at the Comedy Store?
Who's been dead for...
It's too soon, sweetheart. All right. Thank you, baby. What about making fun of my dentist for fucking up my mouth? Definitely make fun of him, dear.
That might come back to bite you.
I'm just trying. I thought we had one more call. Did we do the Cordell Pace call? What do you got? An email?
Oh, yeah, we got an email.
Why don't you read an email?
This email is something we got a while ago, and it's from Bruce Reisner. Did you get this?
I think so.
Yeah. Dear comedy pros, some of whom I know from Facebook. Because I don't know him.
Yeah, I think I know him.
I'm in Pittsburgh, thinking up comedy material.
There's your first mistake, Bruce. Get the fuck out of Pittsburgh. Bruce, U.S. Steel died.
But don't come here, Bruce. Don't come to L.A.
Yeah, well, LA's a shithole, and it won't be here long.
We don't
But
need more comics. I'm in Pittsburgh, thinking up comedy material like Univac on Dexedrine and Ambien. Help! I need an agent to get some work on the coasts. Can you help me find one? Also, I do good routines and can write them for anyone, any style. Quick as snot in February. We're in March now. Sorry, Bruce. If you know anyone who can pay me to do this for them, write back. Don't be cold as ice. Love, Bruce Reisner. And he left.
Bruce, as soon as I find a good agent, I will let you know. I've only been in the business for 40 years, and I really, I haven't found anybody really worth their while. I've fired about 7 managers in the last 2 years. Actually, I do have an agent. He is very cool, but he doesn't get me much. How about you, Steve? You have any...
Eddie and I have this symbiotic relationship where my career makes him feel better.
That's true.
Him feel better, and his failed attempts in the business make me feel better. So we have a.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
An agent? I mean, what a fucking bullshit charade that is. Agents and managers, like chasing after that shit.
Oh,
is the
man.
stupidest shit.
And then once you get them, by the way, there are 23 people watching.
Man, that's
Not bad.
way more than I thought there would be.
Not bad. By the way, this coronavirus thing,
Yeah.
it could be beneficial to podcasts because people will not be going out much.
Did it ever occur to anybody that maybe God canceled Ari Shaffir's dates so he would not go out and get the coronavirus?
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
I was broadcasting. Yeah. No, it didn't. I don't think God. I find that God doesn't really
Have a hand in things like that.
have a hand in things. Period. He kind of whatever it is.
Okay, wait.
Hold on, I have meditation music playing. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
My father, 75 years old, right after 75th birthday. I don't know. I never got the full news whether he lost his job of 30 years or he was forced out or he just quit. But clearly they didn't want him there anymore, and it was a big deal because my parents aren't real affluent. I mean, they're whatever. They're not killing it. They can't just drop and retire. He's working at 75.
Is he?
So yeah, he was working. He was working still at 75, but the job ended, and he was forced out. And
Was he delivering for Insta? What was he doing?
No, he was working for the Salvation Army.
Okay.
And he's an accountant, so efficiency guy. So anyway, he lost his job, or was whatever the story was, the official story.
Right.
And we went through this, and my dad is also a cardiac. He's had 2 heart attacks. He had a quadruple bypass like 20 years ago. So he's been through all this heart stuff and had a carotid artery, a bunch of shit. Who, by the way, are the coronavirus, they're the worst at risk. People who have cardiac history. If you have cardiac history and you're over the age of 65 or something, you're the most at risk. So he's let go from his job, and now he's at home. And my mom was complaining like he can't be around the house. He's going to drive me fucking crazy, and all this. I usually don't air my family business, but the reason I'm telling you is this because it was a blessing in disguise. So he's been looking for jobs and nothing. Nothing. You know, it's hard at that age to find work, even though he's just looking for part-time work to keep him active. Nothing. But it's a blessing in disguise because this shit, my dad should not be out in public doing anything while this shit's going around. And so maybe that's why I say that is a blessing for my dad for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Ari, I don't know, but I will tell you that. We are relieved that my dad is not, you know, he's in quarantine right now.
Is he?
Yeah, my mom's...
Oh, because of his underlying health?
Yeah.
He doesn't have it, but he's in quarantine.
No, but he's at risk.
Absolutely. It's really scary for older people, you know. I don't know. It's just scary.
When you came down with this flu...
Yeah.
You were fucking scared, weren't you?
Very much so. And even I went to the doctor day 3.
Right.
And he took a flu test. He took a bronchitis x-ray. He took a strep throat. He said, you don't have any of that. But then when I just felt like, yeah, but he didn't take the test.
Right.
So I'm still like, ugh.
But you're on the mend.
I think.
Well, are you feeling better than you did day 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're probably okay, buddy.
I don't know.
But you might have it and give it to me because we're, you know. But that's all right. I'll take the coronavirus for you.
Hey, I want to interact with as many people as I can.
If I get the coronavirus from you, we need to renegotiate the situation.
We will.
Okay.
We will.
All right.
But don't blame me. I mean, you could get it from anywhere.
But if you ended up having it and I got it, let's talk.
Look, you gave me the corona.
We got to split this 50-50. I took one for the team.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay, so Bruce, yeah, just come to Hollywood. It's easy as cake. You just come here. There's a street called Agent Way, and you just knock on doors. You'll get an agent. They'll fucking hire you, and they will get you work, and you'll be a millionaire with the swimming pool. Okay. Our illustrious producer who sent this to us 10 minutes before air. I don't know what's going on with Matt Rosamidi.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Matt Rosamidi lost his day job a while ago, and there hasn't been much communication since. I just picture Matt in a bunker, you know, with his wife and beautiful dog. Beautiful wife, but beautiful dog. I love his little dog. I forget the name, but anyway, there hasn't been. So he manages to bang out one ad 10 minutes before we air, and here it is. It's called Petco After Hours. Like a lot of companies, the volatility of the stock market has meant we all need to work a little harder for your business. At Petco, we did an extensive look at our clientele and have created a unique late-night experience you're sure to enjoy. Come to any of the thousands of Petco locations after 6 o'clock for a romantic dinner filled with exotic delights from around the world. Some say Petco is just trying to get rid of overstocked pet food. We like to say, if you haven't seen a bearded dragon in a bow tie, you are missing out. How many ball pythons does it take to open a bottle of Merlot? You can find out when you and your significant other rekindle your romance over a plate of unlabeled fancy feast pate, Naugahyde nachos, goldfish tartare, or any one of the delicious items on the menu. At Petco, we will do anything to get our stock above $20 a share. Do you want to play 7 Minutes of Heaven in a janitor's closet filled with parakeets? Petco will deliver, no questions asked. Petco. Holy Christ, we need the money. Okay.
That was a beautiful coronavirus reading of the ad. And
well, we're wrapping up. Are we in an hour?
We're close.
53, okay.
This is fun, man. You put me in a better mood.
Yeah.
You really did.
It's good. I was thinking of not coming today because I probably should be resting. I don't want to.
I would have been so pissed off.
If I have anything, I don't want to give it to anybody, you know? And then I said, you know what? If I have something,
Steve will gladly.
If I have something, I should give it away because that is how I've been trained. You know, give it away. You know, that's what that is. That is the key to being of service, is to give what you have.
Yeah. You know, our podcast must be getting better because Aaron laughs more.
Yeah.
We get to hear Aaron.
Well, I think Aaron realizes that
the futility of the whole situation.
Aaron realizes that the end is coming. And when there's more tension about, here's an interesting thing about, the extremity of things is that it creates more laughter.
What would we do if things weren't bad? I mean, we would serve no purpose if this was like.
What would we do if things weren't bad?
As comedians.
Me and you would, well, I don't know.
We wouldn't really have as.
We'd have to be more creative.
Yeah. Quirky.
So let's see. Here is the end. Listen, I know it looks bad out there. Joe Biden is basically an anthropomorphized coronavirus. Joe Biden is basically an anthropomorphized coronavirus. Mike Pence's haircut is in charge of a pandemic. My retirement portfolio is heavily dependent on a maniac's tweets, and they canceled the Murphy Brown relaunch. But do you know what would make this world a little bit better? If you hit like or subscribe for this podcast. Sure, it's not as world-changing as Little Caesars doing delivery, but it would help validate this whole experiment. And if we can get 1,000 subscribers, I will dedicate an entire show to naming each and every one of them chronologically. Now, that sounds like va. That's all that was here. That sounds like va. He didn't finish.
He might have had a job interview.
That sounds. I'm sorry, folks. Now that sounds like va. If you have any idea what Matt was trying to write there, so that sounds like va. Which Matt may have been overtaken.
Matt the mystery.
I think he got shot.
He keeled over from
or he shot himself because of what's going on. Anyway, our engineer today is Aaron Brungard. Thanks for laughing. Also, Emma Erdbrink is our engineer. Producer, that's using the term loosely, Matt Rasimoto. Leave a message for us. You heard those messages. 424-262-0904 if you want to leave a message. 424-262-0904. Email us. You heard Bruce pleading for work. We can help as we fan mail at peptalkspodcast.com and donate. There's a donate button on the podcast. Liz.
Please.
Pieto keeps donating to us. $5 she donates. $2.50, $5. So
Yeah.
I'm not even letting you know about
That's
it.
all right.
I use that money to get my insulin. PepTalksPodcast.com has a donate button. So what are you going to say?
Oh, well, you got stuff to promote, even though you have dates canceled, and I do too.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to promote it. I'm going to be at Skankfest if it doesn't get canceled.
Okay, but I have
March 26th.
things that aren't getting canceled.
What do you got?
I'll be on the 15th. I'll be at the Van Nuys Comedy Club headlining.
Nice.
On the 18th, I'm headlining Comedy on Aviation. The 21st, I'm with you at the Improv if you're feeling better. And then on the 26th, I'm at Flappers in the Main. I think it's at 10 p.m. So, yeah.
Nice.
So if you want to come see me.
Yeah. Now, if you want to come see me, I do have to tell you, I have the coronavirus, but
The $12.
you are certainly welcome to see. I'm actually doing a benefit. I wanted to plug this benefit. It is for a dog rescue, very near and dear to my heart. So let me pull up this doggy rescue thing. Here it is. Here's the dog rescue. It's going to be this Saturday, March 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. And the location is the Martial Arts History Museum, 2319 Magnolia Boulevard and in Burbank. What, Aaron? Yeah, it's here in Burbank. You know it? Oh, cool. We're going to be doing, for the Pacific Dog Rescue, I'm going to, dare I say, headlining it. You know, I think everybody knew that was coming. Of course I'll be headlining it. What do you expect?
You are the top dog love.
I'm the
You
top
are the
dog.
most famous top dog love comic probably in the United States.
You think so?
Probably. You and, what's that woman? I forget her name. The comic from the 80s. She's a big animal. I forget her name.
Poundstone? No.
No. I don't remember her fucking name now. I can't remember.
I think that's a good place to end it.
That's a very good place to end it.
We'll see you on Pep Talks. Love you guys. Be careful out there. And wash your hands.
Keep your hands clean.
Wash your hands. And you're supposed to do it for 20 seconds, and they recommend you singing Happy Birthday. I recommend singing
Hokey pokey.
No, I recommend singing Hey Joe. Where'd you get that gun in your hand? All right, good night, everybody, or good day, whatever. Bye.